heavy trees, heavy foliage that was once inhabited by Chickasaw and Choctaw tribes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first thing that drew a conclusion on this, is because another situation that took place in Oklahoma wasn't the siege of Zenobia. It was the Bigfoot War of, what was that, Steve? I can't remember the dates. 55?
18 something. I forget
something
the
like
year.
18 something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also involved Choctaw warriors.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
with, I think his name was Jonathan Lafayette or something like that, man, named after Lafayette County. Oh, don't sleep on Oklahoma, nerds. I'm telling you right now. You think Oklahoma is a safe place? You're wrong. Those people are tough out there. So, anyways, I thought this was another anomaly, Steve, that was interesting to me, is that, again, Choctaw land, again, native. I'll even take it away. Native American lands, right? There seems to be something, a correlation, not to, sensationalize. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
I would agree, because and like you said, we've had it a few times now with Bigfoots. We have the Dogman, and even we look at our friends, the Pukwudgies. They were up in New England. That was Native American lore as well. So
so there seems to be something about these lands, or there seems to be something, a correlation of some sort, right? And again, these Choctaw, man, they like I said, they're renowned warriors, right? And I see why now. I'm saying, like, you're fighting. Yeah, I see why after this story.
You're constantly under siege. You gotta be a warrior.
The weak don't get the breed. You know what I'm saying? That's how this is, right? So yeah, they don't even make it, right? So okay, so he purchased this land out in an area in Taylor, Mississippi, which I've found a way to kind of lock it down. So the Lockett Ranch,
it down. I like that.
Like kind of like get a generalized area of where it currently lays geographically, because it's not public. I couldn't find it anywhere, the exact location, right?
Yeah.
It's not publicly documented. So the working theory is that it was on the rural outskirts of Taylor, possibly near this river called the Vocana River, right? Vocona River Delta, the Vocana River Delta. And that river is highlighted because of an incident that we'll talk about as we get into this story. And that area as well is characterized as having a dense forest and secluded landscapes, which align with the descriptions of the accounts that the family were talking about that took place. And so it also butts up against a national forest called the Holy Springs National Forest, which lies in the northeastern part of Taylor, right? Now, here's where it gets a little bit murky, but the Holy Springs National Forest encompasses parts of several different counties, which is not uncommon. It's pretty big. Benton County, Lafayette County, Marshall County, and Union, right? Now, Green Taylor, the Lockett Ranch, would have been relatively close to the southern reaches of this national forest. So I can't give you a overall area. It would be safe to assume that it was in either Marshall or Union County, if my notes are telling me, which are on the southern reaches of that national forest, where it backs up to, right? So we know it's near Taylor, so that'll help you get like a little bit, more drill down into it, just based on the descriptions that I was able to come across, the Google Maps that I was looking at to go in there and see, and based on how this river ran. And again, another thing that makes me believe this might be the Holy Springs National Forest area might be the location, is because if you go on my Instagram channel, I actually have a really good picture someone sent me from Taylor, Mississippi, from this Holy Springs National Forest, probably about 5 months ago, of a dogman, head of a dogman, right? And so connect the dots. So somewhere down there is what it would be on that. So if anybody wants to go down there and check it out, post in the comments, let us know. Steve, you want to go down there and look around? Go crazy.
No, I don't. I don't. But if anyone else does and you survive, be sure to
take a lot of raw steaks, man. I heard it keeps them away, man. All right, so that's the who, that's the when, that's the where. Now we're going to get into the why. You ready for this, Steve?
I'm ready.
Steve, you want to give the read in, or do you want me to take it? How it started?
No, go for it.
All right, so Edward Lockett Sr. bought some land. American dream, right? 100 plus acres. That's even a more amazing dream right there. Starts this ranch up, has his family down there, Virginia, his son Edward. They're doing their thing. And the area is beautiful, well, forestry, plenty of space. He decides he's going to make a living off his land, has a lot of trees. So he wins a contract to provide lumber for a local lumber mill of some sorts or whatever, right? And he went big time right off the bat, man. He brought in like 15 guys, man. He brought in like a 15-man crew. And in 1948, I guess this might have been the way they got things done or not, but the requirement was if you worked on his crew, you had to sleep in the barn because they wanted to start at crack of dawn. So you like, okay, so I guess they fed them along the way. So yeah, I thought that was unique, right? So 15-man crew had to be on the premises to start work, and they had to sleep in the barn as well. So now they started their logging operation. And again, if you don't know anything about logging operations, we actually did a episode in Alaska. What's the name? You know the name? Can you remember off the top of your head, Steve?
Portlock.
Portlock, right? Portlock, Alaska. And they started as well as a small town. And as soon as they started cutting down the trees, what happened, Steve?
The Bigfoots, it was another siege.
Basically another siege, man. The murder cryptid showed up, man. So evidently, fun fact, cutting down trees makes them angry, right? So, but also too, a lot of things that if you've never been around any type of lumbering or any type of lumber mill stuff, a lot of big heavy trucks run in and out all the time, right? They cut down these trees, and these trees are basically being strapped on these trucks, and they're getting milled at the lumber mill, right? So they're just moving them in and out, right? Big chains, a lot of stuff going back. So needless to say, a lot of activity took place in an area that appeared to be, up until this point, relatively, calm. Nothing happened.
Pretty quiet and untouched for the most part, yeah.
Same, right? So, and just like Portlock, exactly how it started in Portlock, strangely enough, loggers were working around the area. They were having a conversation. They looked over at Steve and then looked back, and they looked over at Steve, and Steve was gone. Something Predator-like, like the theme from the Predators, the jungle came alive and took him, right? So something took the guy, right? And then they were like, where'd he go? And so they went over there and investigate, and they found blood and some like
his torn, bloody shirt.
Yeah,
that was all
like a torn, bloody shirt or something like that. Like, so he got murked, right? These are tough dudes. There was 14 of them out there now. This was tough dudes.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.